you like throwing rocks?
Yes! We totally
Oh,
didn't just come up with that like 5 seconds before hitting live.
that is
Brilliant
that
job.
is that is my all-time favorite line from the series. When we are in the car, we as in like my siblings and I, uh, and nobody's saying anything. I just go, "Hey kids, you like throwing rocks?" And I get a deep eye roll from Brianna, and it's everything's good.
It really it is. Now, I don't have any rocks that I can throw, but I do have something that's quite cool.
Oh,
And there we go. I hope my stream isn't as jumpy as it has been. This is a replica of the largest hailstone to fall in the United States of America.
I think I saw that when you posted it earlier this week, and I was like, "Ah, I think she has too much power."
This is like my rock. It's just plastic hailstones. Yeah.
Is it? It's not solid, is it? Oh my
Yes.
gosh, Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. How much does it weigh?
This one's like 2.5 pounds.
Oh,
It's
okay.
fairly
So
accurate to what it really is, or what it really turned out to be.
was
It was. I think they may have frozen it, but yeah, it's close to 8 inches.
interesting.
It's a thick
And where?
boy.
And I'm sorry. Where did this fall?
Vinny in South Dakota, so just to my west.
Yeah. Okay.
It's amazing. But yeah,
Did it hopefully just like fall in a field and somebody found it, or?
it had an impact crater.
Oh my gosh.
It's mental. It was larger than a VHS tape. It weighed 2.5 pounds, and yeah, it had an impact crater. Hi,
Wow.
Louise. Hi. We're talking about rocks, but this is the closest thing I could get to a rock. So there we go.
I have a painted rock that my nephew found and gave me, but it's on my
Aw.
nightstand.
Yeah, you can throw it later on.
Perhaps.
And we got Rapunzel saying that's one hail of a rock.
You know
Ah.
what? I think the comment of the night goes to Rapunzel.
Oh
She's
yes.
already won.
2 minutes and 40 seconds in, and we got it.
All right. I don't think we got to talk about. I don't think we got to talk about the episode at all. I think we can just go ahead,
Oh.
call it a night. Rapunzel has already done everything. I mean, she's done it. Better than what we would have been able to do. So
Oh,
just,
completely. No,
we'll just leave it at that, and we'll see you guys next week.
That'd be cool. I gotta be at the airport in less than 18 hours. So yeah, this works.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Time Prophet.
See?
Hail, how's it going? All the hail. Can't pass up those 12-year-old jokes. Well, haha. Speaking of 12-year-olds, we get introduced to one of the best in this. Oh my gosh, my arms are gone.
Yeah, your green screen is keying out like the back of your chair as well. And I was trying to figure out if it was just like a light cast, but apparently
we're just gonna
I don't think it's properly lit is the problem. Oh no, you have it over your
there we go. Now I'll put it over my chair.
Wow, look at that.
It's cheap, but it works. Time Prophet says, still haven't had a chance to watch Korra, but I have the full series ready to watch. Nice.
Let's go.
This episode actually has like kind of pseudo ties to Legend of Korra, in very small artistic ways. In that Earth Rumble is a predecessor to the.
I was trying to figure out where you were going with that. I was like, what? I was thinking too deeply about it. No, yeah. No, and what's really funny is that I also had that thought when I was rewatching this episode, and I was like, oh wow, I guess this is kind of like pro bending, and then that thought disappeared.
Totally. I mean, you even have like I got a full still shot of the entire stadium, and it's pretty decent. Like, same rules apply. You get knocked out, you're done. But yes, before we get into all that fun chaos, because all the snapshots I have, I'm gonna pull up, because I didn't do this beforehand, the Netflix description. There we go. And we're gonna compare it to the amazing description that our own Brandi comes up with, because Brandi's are always the best. So here we go.
You know, I kind I kind of want one of my descriptions, like the Netflix description, to be better than the one that I've written. I kind of just want it to happen once to keep me humble, you know?
You know, you do need that. I mean, it's one season and 6 episodes in, and I don't think we've had a miss. So we'll see. Probably in season 3. But the description from Netflix for The Blind Bandit is Aang discovers a possible earthbending mentor at an underground tournament. And that's it.
You know, I mean, that one's not terrible. You know, short, simple, easy to remember.
Yeah. I mean, they could have just put Toph and then no context.
Toph, that's all you need.
or oh my gosh, they do like Braille. Like they just use Braille as the. It would be nothing, but it would be fun. But yes, let's see what Brandi has come up with.
Well, I mean, I would say that my first sentence is pretty similar. So here we go. The gang attends an underground earthbending tournament in hopes of finding the Avatar and earthbending teacher. Things go amiss after Aang defeats the reigning champion and is accused of cheating.
I like that because it tells you the story. It doesn't give away the Blind Bandit, and it's a perfect summary.
You know what, Rapunzel? I ask myself that like every single day. Why hasn't Netflix hired me?
They need to hire you.
Have I applied for a job at Netflix? Yes, I have.
Really?
Did I hear anything back? No, I didn't.
Oh. That's so sad.
That's okay. It was a long shot.
Oh, one of these days.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
Oh, Bree, you're late. Oh, no, it's okay. You didn't miss much. We've mostly just been giggling about hailstones.
She did miss a lot.
Keying it out. There we go. There's my hailstone.
She did miss a lot because I asked, "You like throwing rocks?"
True, and she would understand the context.
She would. I told the story.
Yeah.
Listen, I just want to know how many times I can say that quote.
Yeah.
Before people start getting annoyed. At least
everyone just
Katie.
takes a shot. Yeah. Everyone get a bottle of water. We're gonna hydrate this stream every time we throw rocks. Get one back.
I don't have water, but I have tea.
There you go. I mean, that kind of actually looks like whiskey if you squint.
Well, it's an Avatar cup.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
It's not. Yeah. But it's an Avatar cup, and it's tea. Okay, it's tea.
I love that. I would be proud. And yes, you know, Rapunzel brings up a good point. The first real episode, or the real first episode of season 2. Because I always forget there are episodes before this one.
Oh, really? That's
I'm
funny.
like, oh, Toph instantly kicks off season 2.
No, she doesn't.
Why am I? Oh, there we go.
I mean, I would have to almost agree that this is really like the first episode of season 2, but I also really like some of the ones before it. So
yeah, I feel like those ones were like a part of season 1 in my mind for some reason. Who knows? Also, I'm blurry, but Time Prophet brings up a good point. Well, they're sacking all the Netflix staff anyway. I'm sure it wasn't you. Yeah, it's kind of a mess. Like my camera. Gosh,
you know, you're good.
Is
your lighting different? It's because it has to be a lighting issue.
I don't think so. My settings might have reset. I have a green screen. Oh my gosh, now you guys can see what's underneath my green screen. We're gonna zoom in so you don't see my mostly cat toys.
I was going to say, I only really see something kind of in that. Oh, no.
Radar's birthday was yesterday, so we have all the cat toys out. And yes, happy Star Wars Day to everyone. I know, Brandi, you are an observer.
Listen, so like, I love Star Wars. Okay, I love Star Wars. I'm wearing a,
oh my gosh.
He's standing on a stool. So.
Oh, that's adorable.
I love Star Wars. But here's the thing. I love May the 4th for a different reason. It's because the rest of the internet gets so upset about it. And that's why I love Hell yeah, because they're like, oh, this is like, the one day where all the Star Wars fans are just, I don't know, being losers or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't know. I just really love it. And I also love it because over the course of however many years we've been doing May the 4th, that it's slowly becoming like its own little holiday.
Yeah.
Because at least 3 people in the office, you walk down the hallway and they go, May the 4th be with you.
Oh my gosh.
And my boss knows what day it is as well. Like, she's never seen Star Wars. I've tried talking her into watching it so many different times. And like, even she, like, first thing, I was getting ready for work and she texts me, May the 4th be with you. And I'm like, you know what? I think my life is complete.
That's a good boss.
She knows what's up. Well, she's been dealing with me for like
Amazing.
3 years now, so.
Yeah, I've found that boss ladies and boss men come to expect everything. Once you work with them long enough, it's like, you know what? I know your holidays. I know your satanic rituals that you have. We're just happy you day.
Yeah.
But we're not just here to talk about Star Wars. We're also here to talk about some of the best bending we can see in the Earth Kingdom. Yeah. I'm trying
Oh my
to match
god,
his energy.
I've never noticed Aang's face.
Just... and poor Guitar, she's just bored out of her mind.
This is just gonna be a bunch of men throwing rocks at each other. That's what I paid for.
Oh, so many iconic lines from this episode. It's hard to decide really where to begin, honestly, because also it's hard to decide how many pictures to pull up at one time. Honestly, you have to start out with them just walking around this town, finding a new bag.
No. You have to start with Sokka and his shopping.
Sokka is like, anytime I go to the store, it's like, I really like it, but it's expensive. But I really want it. Like, yeah.
No, every single time that we rewatch this episode, even my older sister, she's like, Brandi, that's how you shop. And I'm like, well,
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, yes, no, it's exactly. And they'll be like, well, I really like it, but it's too expensive. And like my siblings are Guitar. Like, oh, I really like it. You should get it. You deserve something nice. Oh, I don't know. I think it's too expensive. Okay, then don't get it. But I really want it.
And it's a vicious cycle. It truly is.
And then you end up buying it, and you're just like, why did you let me buy it?
Why'd you let me spend money on this?
Yeah.
So,
and
Aang is me anytime we go shopping. Just where's the nearest Chick-fil-A? I want some nuggies. Oh goodness. But this is because I was thinking about it, this is one of the first episodes where we really see a lot of the Earth Kingdom style. Because you have the whole you have everything with the Beifongs, and you have all the tournament stuff, you have the belts, and you just have a lot more to work with than what we've seen.
I think that this is also, like, outside of Omashu, this is probably one of the largest earthbending, like, towns that they've been to. Because a lot of times it's just like a little village, but you really get the sense that this is like a city.
Yeah, well, and it has all these merchants, and it seems like in the initial shot here, I don't know why I have this one readily available, but
Don't
nothing
question,
else.
just accept.
Just accept. But yeah, so there's merchants, there's trading and bartering, 2-story buildings, not just 1 story, but 2. So yeah, I'd say if you're large enough to have a really wealthy family, probably higher up there.
Well, and I so there's commentary for this episode, and so I was watching that commentary, and I think it was probably Brian. And it's always so interesting to like listen to them talk about their show, because they'll always be like, "Oh, that was such good animation!" Like, "Oh my gosh," and it's it's just funny because like as a creator yourself, like you go back and you're like, oh, that was terrible, or wow, that actually did really work. But Brian, he had made a comment about how they had done such great work of just like adding different people in the background and like animating that and making it feel full and like it actually is the city. And so I think that's actually what we're feeling as far as like when we're watching the scene is like, wow, you know, this feels really full. And it's just because they have so many people in the background. Which sometimes a lot of times like we only get like one or two, but I mean here you can count them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 people just in the background walking around that aren't part of the main cast. And so I think that's kind of what really leads to this being having the feeling that it does.
Definitely. Also, I must bring up your new name is Branda, first off.
Hey, you know what? That works.
And second, we must also check out this tea set because I think you do need it.
Is it the I was gonna say, is it the cabbage?
You knew of it?
No, yeah. So this has been like floating around online for I don't know a while, and what I can't decide because a lot of times like people will be like, "Oh, I found like this cabbage or like lettuce tea set at like Goodwill or something," and so I'm confused. Are they actually selling this, or is this just like somebody found it at Goodwill and then made that crate? I'm confused.
I think it's for sale.
I'm gonna,
website.
That's it. You're gonna.
I don't know. Someone made it.
I don't know. I think that it is.
Might just be a one-off.
Yeah, like I think it's either fan made or like I don't think it's actually for sale. Or maybe this is just the product before it goes on sale. I don't know. I have questions about this tea set.
Everyone do research on the tea set. Come back. We're going to confer again when Cabbage Man shows up. It would have an interesting drinking mechanic to it with all the curves and dips.
Listen,
and things.
I appreciate it for what it is, but I can't say that I actually want to own it.
Yeah.
like
it's art. It should be enjoyed by the public.
No, like I think like my enjoyment as far as is just like every now and then, you know, every like, you know, 8 months or so, just it popping back up on social media and me be like, that's funny. And then I go on with my life. Like I don't think I need to own it. But
you know, as long as it makes you happy for that little millisecond
that's all I need. That's all I need. I don't need it in my house.
Serotonin boost. So can't find it for sale anywhere. Sad.
Yeah.
If the so the side note, Brandi, did you see that the ceramics building at Valpro caught on fire and burned to the ground?
I did, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. At first, I didn't know what building it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, okay, that's what building it was. And so I'm like, okay, well, hopefully they can salvage it. And no, I don't think that they're going to.
No, apparently the ceramics class is defunct. They stopped the class. And which, hey, class, learning, tangent. But I could have made it for you if that building was still intact because I still know the key, or I know the back door entrance. Yeah, no, it almost caught the radar on fire.
Oh my gosh. That would have been terrible.
Slightly stressed. We both, for anyone who doesn't know, we both went to the same college, hence how we know each other. It's yeah, it was bad. I think
it also closed a couple of other buildings, didn't it?
Oh yeah, they had to close down the football team's weight room, which I mean, come on, it's Valparaiso football team. And then and then it's crying in the corner. And yeah, Loki Hall, I think they had to close down. Well, well. But yes,
it's unfortunate.
This school has a much lower chance of being burned down because it's Earth.
Well, I mean, they're in a war with the Fire Nation, so
yeah, but aren't their buildings it would make sense if their buildings were made of like sandstone or something. Like, oh, hey, you want a new house? Whoop.
No, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying like they're also in a war with like people that can literally produce fire. So
Yeah,
I
the
don't know.
odds aren't great if they get invaded.
Plus, I mean, is there what are their roofs made out of? Is that bamboo? Is that clay?
Ooh. Shall
You
we
know,
microanalyze? Because it looks
I
like
mean, I guess we can.
little
Speaking of micro analyzing, remember when you went like frame by frame for what Marvel movie was it? Was it Infinity
oh
War?
gosh, it might have been.
I
It
can't
might have
remember what
been.
it was. I just remember you were going frame by frame.
I gotta
It might
click.
have. It wasn't Thor Ragnarok. It had to have been Infinity
Yeah, I wouldn't
War.
be searching for anything in Thor Ragnarok.
I just remember walking in to VUTV. You're in the newsroom and you're just hitting the arrow key and you're going, "Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Is that no?" And me being like, "What are you doing?"
I think it was when the trailer originally came out, and I was just like, come on, 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 come on. I'm like looking and looking who's gonna die. Literally, that's all.
Anyways, yes, let's
Yes,
micro analyze.
microanalyzing the oh, wrong one. Go
Fantastic.
get back.
Wonderful.
There it is. So it definitely looks tile-ish to me, which makes me think it's Florida, which makes me think ceramics.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but I don't know. I mean, it's not for sale.
Oh, well, now we're just sad.
I it's been floating around so long. I'm like, I don't think it's for sale. I think somebody literally just found the set because like the cabbage or I bet you it's almost more like lettuce than it is cabbage. That had been made in the 70s. Okay,
Yeah.
somebody that's a very 70s thing. You have to admit.
Let's see.
Yeah. It's like a
not lettuce wraps, lettuce teacup. Oh yeah, they got all those for sale. You got one of these
yeah.
for
And I'm just saying,
$13.
like these.
Oh, there's potential.
I mean, there's a whole China set that I've and it is lettuce. It's not even cabbage. It is lettuce.
Potato.
You can no. Cabbage is part of the broccoli family. Actually, you know what? Broccoli is part of the cabbage family. And lettuce is whatever the frick lettuce is. They're not the same. I feel very strongly about vegetables in their family.
I don't eat most vegetables, so I wouldn't know. How do we? Oh gosh,
I don't know.
Like
Let's get back. Let's get back.
Time Prop is like, I'm up to the cabbage part. It's like it's all the cabbage part. It was made for Nickelodeon.
Oh, okay. So it was made. This makes sense. Yeah. So there we go. Moving on.
Full circle. Yes. How do we tie this in? School. These kids look like they would beat me up for lunch money. Like this one has a really intense backstory, and he's here purely to learn how to kill.
No.
This one doesn't really care. And this one's going to be the silent type going eventually. Actually, no. Quiet guy from Jets Group. The, not Smellerbee. Is this Smellerbee? No.
Oh.
Long shot.
Long shot. Smellerbee is the girl.
Yeah. I was like, Smellerbee's the girl. Yeah. No, yeah. Seriously, could be his brother.
You're not wrong.
Very similar.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, no, and this is what I was saying. These kids aren't intimidating like at all. These are all just like younger siblings trying to survive.
There you go. Yeah, all their older siblings are off fighting the war, and they're just like, oh, well, guess it's about time for me to do this. Longbow. Yes. I
think it's long shot though, isn't it?
In the meantime, Time Prophet, make sure your computer doesn't catch on fire.
Yeah, it's long shot.
Nice. Long shot, long bow. As long
Same
as we
difference.
all knew who we were talking about.
I've heard it both ways.
It all works. But we're at the earthbending school, and Aang's trying. He's really trying to, not fall asleep. And just not interested.
Well, here's the thing. Have we ever, outside of him being in the Avatar state, have we ever seen Aang bend any type of rock at all?
No. I don't think inside the Avatar state we've seen him bend Earth yet.
I suppose maybe not.
Have we?
Have we? Okay, well, when does he... Okay, he goes into the Avatar state in the Southern Air Temple, and it's just a bunch of air, I think. And then the next time that he's in the Avatar state is the winter solstice when Roku takes over.
That's
and then
just
Roku...
water.
No, Roku bends
no,
like
no.
lava
Yeah.
and stuff. But, I mean, like, he does it while, like, in the form of Roku. So then is that really even...
I
Or
think
is that
that
from, like...
counts as Roku.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. And then the next time that he's in the Avatar state is it the Water Tribe, or is it seems like there's another instance.
Mm.
Yeah. And then even in the season premiere, what does he bend?
True. No, because it's not like, I mean, it's dusty air. Dusty air. Which we will come back to and talk about in a little bit. But first, we no longer sound like Smurfs, and we're talking very slowly now. Because you had to put it on 2x speed to catch up. Yeah.
That's funny.
For context.
I was gonna say, I'm not following. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. Oh, side note for anyone who's looking for a new thing, because I know Wheel of Time, like a lot of people have been finishing up and everything. And if you have time in between your Avatar rewatches, have any of you watched Our Flag Means Death? By any chance?
Not.
Take a Good Omens fanfic and a Good Omens erotic fanfic, make it a pirate AU, and make it from the guy who made Thor Ragnarok.
Oh my.
I mean, it's brilliant.
Oh my.
Flaming gay, but brilliant. I told my parents, because I watched the first 3 episodes, I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. And I tell my parents, I was like, you guys should watch this with me. And I get to episode 4, I'm like, no, you're not watching. I'm changing the account password. That?
Oh my gosh. I have such fear of recommending TV shows to my parents for that exact reason, because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like 4 episodes in, and then you're like, oh man, this is really good, and then literally the next episode that you watch, there's like something that you're like, oh, this kind of, doesn't fly with my very conservative Christian upbringing.
Exactly.
What the heck?
My parents like, are good God-fearing folk.
Yeah. And so you're like, I'm personally like okay with this, but like I don't need to know. I don't need to let my parents know that this is what I'm doing in my free time.
Exactly.
So then you like send a frantic text and you're like, hey, you ruined that show. Never mind. It's garbage.
Yep. I told my parents, and then I watched it because we had time in between cut-ins at work. For anyone who doesn't know, we do cut-ins every 30 minutes during like CBS This Morning for me. So I do 1 minute of broadcast for every 30 minutes of off time. And I was 1 episode away from the finale, so I watched it, and I had to close my computer, and I walked past another guy who was at work. This is a long side tangent, but he's also like 3 episodes in. And I walked past, and I said, how often do you go on Archive of Our Own, AO3, fanfic.net, that stuff? And he goes, I don't really read fan fiction. I said, just you will after this. And my co-anchor, he's sitting there, he's the quiet type, and he goes, was it good? And I said, it's erotic. And I just walk away.
You just left it at that?
Yeah. And I dropped my laptop on the desk and walk away. It's, yeah, highly recommend. Good heavens, I'm really behind on the comments. I'm gonna keep name dropping Wheel of Time until you all read it. But it's
So
not like books.
I was looking to see like how many books are in the Wheel of Time because I'm not like an avid reader. But I'm like, oh, if it's just 3, I'll do it. And then I don't even remember how many it was, but I was like, I'm sorry, but like I just I can't commit to that.
Nope. Exactly. Unless
I'm
it's
like, I'm so sorry.
pictures.
I'm so sorry. I physically can't. I
Mhm.
like a couple of years ago, I don't know why, but I was like, "Oh, I'll just start reading Game of Thrones casually like you do." And I like was reading it and the verbiage alone, I felt like I was in the 3rd grade learning how to read again. And I was like, "I don't need this for my self-esteem."
Exactly. I want bare bones,
And I
easy to
went,
read.
"Nope." And I put it back and I went back to my Star Wars books.
Quality books. Quality books. And apparently Time Prophet's on Dune.
I
Hmm.
tried reading Dune as well. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna read Dune before the remake comes out. I'm like, I should do this. And the exact same thing. I started reading it, and I'm like, I physically can't. So then I was like, okay,
Ooh.
we'll try an audiobook. And I was trying an audiobook, and I was like, how am I not even? How could I not even like? I can't even process this.
It's as a kid, we used to listen to audiobooks all the time because I'm like, Rapunzel, yeah, get an audiobook. And now when I go and listen to it, I'm like, I don't words.
Like I can't. I can't. I listen to
I
audiobooks all the time.
I messaged Jillian, who, fun fact for anyone who's watching, has been both of our roommates at one point in time. Because I found a Good Omens fanfic that was 460,000 words. It was longer than Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I read it in 3 days, Brandy. I hadn't read a book since I graduated college, but I read that in 3 days.
No, like I can read pretty quickly. Like I don't even remember what book it was. It might have been the Lorne Legacies, which is like you remember the movie I Am 4?
Vaguely.
Yeah, anyways, it's that book series, which is fantastic.
Oh.
And I'm pretty certain that I read one of those in like a day. So I can read really fast. But Solanas, it's like, I don't know, an 8th grade level.
I know, yeah. As long as
Like
it doesn't make me feel bad about myself.
Yeah. Like I am a visual person. I'm a photographer for a reason.
Like visual storytelling, it's an art. And
Yes.
yes, that I think visual storytelling is why Time Prophet knows more about the weather in Siouxland than in Britain. Did you know this is a hailstone that
Oh,
actually
look, she's
fell in
brought it
real life?
back.
It's like a bowling ball. It's so perfect. I could make rock climbing wall grips out of this. Like this would be a good rock climbing grip.
I really want to ask why you just have, but like we've already got on so many side tangents.
We have to. This is Toph's episode, and we've spent 30 minutes. 30 minutes. We should probably get on track. I won it in a contest. I
Okay.
hold it as a stress toy because I know I can't break it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, well,
That was simple.
run through. We got. How come it hasn't melted? It's 3D printed. It's a replica. It's pointy. I'm gonna keep this next to my bed at night in case someone breaks in. my options are throw this and then throw the cats. Okay.
I'm trying to decide which one would do more damage.
Doppler.
No.
100%.
No. I'm saying throwing the cat or throwing the 3D replica.
This thing. No. I mean, you hit a temple just right.
No. Like I wouldn't want to mess with it, but I'm just saying. I don't know.
I can take it to the axe place we have down the street and test it and see how well it holds up to what force.
I don't think we need to.
I think I do. I need stress relief. Is it hollow? I think it's 80% infilled. So it's got like little bits of air, but it's mostly solid. I wanted to get it close enough to the actual weight of it. Because I'm gonna take it to schools. Because I'm gonna teach kids, much like they do with earthbending. They just throw rocks at each other. I'm gonna be like, hey guys, so have any of you heard of severe thunderstorm warnings for hail? Do you think hail can be deadly? Hey kids, catch.
Don't
Just
throw it.
huck it at 'em. Do you think this
Please.
could kill someone? Try to kill
I
your best mate.
would not be throwing it at small children, you know? You're already like, "This
Preschoolers
is
are
my self-defense if somebody ever breaks into my place," and then you're like, "Oh, yeah, I'll also just casually toss it to kids." Like you do.
yes.
Uh,
And head
oh,
trauma
wait,
versus tiny razors.
mini side tangent. We had, like, 40 kids taking a tour yesterday, and
Oh, that's
they were all in the studio.
oh.
And, my office is, kind of, like, right by the studio door, and so they were all coming out, and I don't know, I guess they were lining up or whatever, and so I overhear this conversation between 2 kids, and the conversation is, "How do they afford all of these TVs?" And I'm like, "Oh gosh." That's the question kids have visiting, "How do we afford, like, the plethora of TVs that we have in the building?"
Well, and it ranges because what age were they?
I don't know what grade they were, like,
'Cause, like
I avoided the children. I was like, "Hey, do I need to help?" And my boss was like, "No, you're good." I'm like, "Okay, I'm just gonna stay here and animate this butterfly." And that's what I did.
nice. Well, see, we get kids who are like kindergartners and they're like, "Are you afraid of death?" You know, I chase tornadoes, right? And they're like, "Yeah, are you afraid of death?" Like, this is an actual conversation. I was like,
Oh my gosh.
"Yes, I have a sense of self-preservation." But then you get kids who are like these, the Earth Kingdom twerps, and they're just like, "Oh, I know everything there is to know about the weather." And so, like for little kids, I'm like, "Oh, hey, check out this cool hailstone." For these guys, I'm like, "Hey, you want to say that again, punk?" Like, this is my version of Katara welding their heads together with ice, which I think this is a very Katara powerful moment here.
I feel like it's kind of, like it's kind of, like, out of character a bit, and at the same time, it's like, "Yeah, okay, why not? You do you, Katara."
Also, I love the melted snow idea there, time profit. That could work. It'd be more convenient though to be a waterbender to just be able to make all your own snow whenever you want. Kindergartners come up with the best questions. They'll really make you question your life choices.
Oof.
Yes. Well, and this episode does include see tying it back in. This episode includes Toph's dad kind of and Toph's society making her question her life's choices. Because Toph's blind. We are introduced to the great character that everyone knows and loves, everyone thinks has been around since the dawn of time.
I mean,
Come
really,
on,
like
it Tough.
yeah, like, you think of Avatar and, I mean, you think of Aang and Katara and Sokka and Zuko and Iroh, but I personally also think of Toph and even Azula, and
Oh yeah.
the last 2 were introduced in the 2nd season. I'm like, "How did we have a whole 1st season and then a quarter of the 2nd season without Toph?"
It
Like, how
doesn't make sense.
she's just always been there. And
She's a constant.
and that's just, like I think that that's amazing to introduce a character in the 2nd season of a series and have the character be so well beloved and even just thought of, like, they've just always been there. Like, that's insane to me.
It's a perfect example of character introduction and character development
Yeah,
when you can take the time that you have and grow a character within those constraints to
mhm.
become so loved. Like just
Yeah, and, like, we already have, like, so much history with the main 3, and even with Zuko, and then but like, Toph even still feels really fleshed out. Like, it doesn't feel like we're
oh
missing anything else. Like, I mean, I guess the joke is that, obviously she didn't go on a life-changing adventure with Zuko at the end, but you know.
yeah, yeah, detail.
Um, and, for those of you who don't know, originally, Toph's character was supposed to be a male. It's supposed to be like a 16-year-old dude that was supposed to be just as like snarky and sassy and was kind of like supposed to rival Sokka. And like very and again, in the commentary for this episode, they were talking about how that was the plan and that was the plan. And then I don't remember if it was the head writer, but just like one of the writers was like, what if this character is a girl? And they're like, yeah, I guess. And I think it was Michael that like held out the longest of like, oh man, I don't know, I don't want to do it. And then they're like, okay, yeah, we'll make it a girl. And it just like that blows my mind that we almost had Toph be a 16-year-old boy instead of a 12-year-old girl. And I'm just like, how would that change the dynamic?
And I have something to show you. It is an early fan art, y'all. Because someone did a gender bent comic strip. But the thing I have to focus on is like Toph could have looked something similar to this.
Well, and here's the thing, like they didn't mention it, but I wonder if they did say that the name was always going to be Toph, or at least it was going to be Toph during that development.
Neutral name.
Yeah, but I wonder if Toph was the boy, if it would still be blind. Like, would they still be blind? Because they didn't really talk about that. Ooh. And so I don't know.
I feel like it would have to be. Like,
I don't know.
That's so integral to the character.
Yeah, I know, but like also is kind of like being like this tomboy, sassy queen that Toph is.
Yes, this is our queen right there.
No, like Toph is one of my favorite characters.
Oh, I love
definitely top 3. And so like I'm just like I don't know. I don't know.
I wouldn't be okay with Toph being anything other than what she is in the show. Like you can rework it any which way you think, and nothing will beat it. Because what makes this so much better even is knowing that Toph is this little girl and she takes down all the dudes.
I know.
I love that so much as a kid. I don't know why. Because actually, it was probably because I played football with all the guys on the playground. And I'm just like, haha, yeah, take him down! Take him down! Oh, violent tendencies as a child.
Wow.
Everyone's still talking about hailstones, and there needs to be an ice cream van that stores hailstones. I'm loving it. But I'm also Earth Rumble 6. I mean, this thing has inspired fan art, fan posters, which we'll be giving one of these away here at the end of the stream. Just, I love this bit. And the continuity throughout. Notice, no one's sitting in those front few rows, even in the faraway shots.
I know. Wow, front row seats. I wonder why nobody's sitting here. Giant rock. Oh.
That's why. All
and
hail
they
the hail.
continue to sit there.
Sure, they sit here for the entire event. I think, like, Katara could just bring out the water whip and just pop away the stone. Aang has his airbending. He could just whoosh out of the way. Sokka is in literal danger. Yes! Like, I didn't see him with his boomerang or with his little club or anything.
But he got that bag.
He was willing to die to see the boulder. Which I like. Now that I'm older, I understand who like based the character off of with the boulder and how it's the Rock. Like, because it's confirmed that's Dwayne the Rock Johnson, right?
Oh yes. No, during the commentary they were like, this is where our years of watching wrestling is like finally paid off. And it's when Gifu and or however you say it, the guy's name in the boulder are talking about how they didn't see how Aang knocked Toph out of the ring, because this is something that I often forget, but in the series nobody can see airbending. Like the little discoloration of Aang airbending is for our visual cues only, and everybody like in the actual show cannot see it. And that's why they have this big old conversation. They're like, I don't even know how he knocked how the Blind Bandit out of the ring, because we didn't see, like, nothing made contact. And that's why they're like, oh my gosh, they must have been in on it.
That's an epiphany for me. I never realized that.
Yeah. No. That nobody can see airbending. And that's kind of, I think that's also why I think Aang has, like, the upper hand a lot, because nobody can literally see what he's doing, because you can't see the wind. And
Oh my
the only
word.
reason why we see those little whooshes is because we're watching the show.
I'm having a crisis.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I felt like everybody knew that, but I don't know. Okay. Anyways, but no, this is confirmed. The boulder is the rock. And I just, if they make the live action Netflix, if they make it to season 2 and they don't get, listen,
They better bring him.
start tweeting at The Rock right now. I don't know if he's on Twitter, but
Oh my gosh.
let's just.
I
We
would
gotta-
pay good money to see that.
If it doesn't happen, I will be devastated.
Well, it's like it already has a campaign on change.org.
See, I'm not the only one.
How many signatures? It has 34 signatures, guys. Here are the reasons why. 1, he's muscular, just like the boulder. 2, he's good at acting in these types of roles. 3, it's exciting. 4, it's right in the name.
No, and like he was based off of, it was confirmed in the commentary. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, in case you guys didn't know, the boulder is just the rock. Always referring to himself in third person.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
And I gotta say, I love the boulder. I love
completely.
I love him in this episode.
Just
Fantastic at all. Like
representation of me at work some days.
and then even like he comes back in season 3, and like when he came back in season 3, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm dead.
It was so good. He got a redemption arc, and I love it.
Okay,
he's on Instagram.
He's on Instagram, guys. Don't harass him, but I'm just saying.
There's 1 or 2 messages here or there every once in a while. And yes, it does make you look like Iron Man a little bit there with your mic filter.
Oh.
Oh goodness. But where to go from here? Because we get to learn more about, well, Aang just totally destroys Toph with this air bending, and she's just like, dude, what the heck, twinkle toes?
Don't answer that. That's not manly. Says the guy whose bag matches his belt.
It's just
listen,
great.
the siblings' conversations between Sokka and Katara, one of the best.
Oh, the sass. It's 100% true. Like, both of us have siblings. The sass is always there.
Oh yeah.
We get to see in this episode, Aang's like, I want to talk, like Aang always does, and Toph's just, I want to fight, and we end up...
Toph always does.
Yes, Toph always does, and you just get in that whole embarrassing thing. So we have to go back to the twerps, and they're like, oh, the Beifong family, maybe, and all of a sudden we get introduced to blind version of Toph, because...
Well, I mean she was always blind.
Yeah, well...
Didn't stop being blind.
I will point out the differences, because where'd it go? Where are you? So I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna rapid fire click. Hear the ferocious clicking. There it is. Okay, so we get introduced to Toph as what I refer to as blind Toph, because you can see a stark difference in her posture, and so in her demeanor when she's acting blind, which I mean she is, but she is. You know what I mean. But when she's
get
acting,
what you're saying.
She's very soft. She has her hands in front of her. Her shoulders are rounded and slouched, and her head is tilted down along with her neck. Versus when we see her with her earthbending, she is very stiff, neck back, fighting position, shoulders squared. And so for me, it's always been so cool to see how they added acting into an animated show. It just freaking love it so much. Like here, boom, full on, ready to fight, has the legs out. Where did the other one go? Just so awesome. Even when she's talking with Aang in the garden,
Yeah.
she's not just that slumped over quiet girl, and that just always resonated with me.
Well, and I mean, I think
with her demeanor.
I think that just comes back to like who she is in front of her parents, and like when she's in front of her parents, she's the person that she thinks they want her to be. And so she kind of plays that role, you know, a helpless little blind girl, and, you know, she's very dainty. And then when she's away from her parents, she's like her true self, and, you know, she's...
I love fighting.
Yeah. And, you know, she's the tough that everybody knows and loves. And I don't know, like, I think rewatching this episode this past week has made me realize how sad her kind of backstory is.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
well, yeah.
And a lot of times when I think of Toph, like I think of like this, you know, really confident girl, and, you know, somebody you wouldn't want to mess with, and somebody who's very sassy, and like overall I think is very happy. Like I think we see a lot of emotions from the rest of the gang, and Toph is always kind of like this consistent, you know, kind of almost the Rock of the team. But you know, she's very sturdy, and she's very, you know, she's just tough. And then rewatching this episode, I was like, oh my gosh, like her backstory is extremely sad, because this whole town doesn't even know that she exists.
Yeah, they don't think they have a daughter.
Yeah. And she even says like she's never even been friends with or even talked with somebody her own age. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And like it also kind of like resonated with me, because so I was homeschooled. You know, like my entire, you know, K through 12. And I had friends, don't worry. And like, you know, we were socialized.
That's why you have siblings. Who needs friends when you have siblings?
But like I never had like a whole bunch of friends. Like I maybe had like one friend, and then, you know, as you grow up, you kind of lose that friend. So, you know, I lost a lot of friends growing up. And for somebody like me who doesn't have a whole lot of friends, like I always hold on to those relationships. And so when she was like, you know, you know, I've never had like a friend or something like that, I was like, oh my gosh, Toph. Like, oh my, like, I don't know. I just really resonated with that, even though, you know, obviously I have siblings, and don't get me wrong, like nothing compared to what Toph is going through. But that really like resonated with me. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, Toph is our homeschooler icon that we need more of. And so I don't know, like her backstory is just,
yeah.
I realize people only have one really good friend, but I'm just like, I only had one friend, like one casual acquaintance who was also kind of my best friend. you know?
Yeah, it's lump sum all together.
Like, but no, like, oh my gosh, so sad. So sad.
Well, and you just look at the parents, and it's very, you know, prim, proper. And this is the episode that kind of reminded me this was set in the Asian culture, because of, you have the script, you have all the writing on the pamphlets and everything. Then you also have the typical the seating style. They are eating rice with chopsticks, and that stuck out to me on the rewatch. Was, oh right, Asian influence. So I just, the more you go back and watch these episodes, the more you pick up on. It's so cool.
Also, something else that I learned in the commentary: Toph's mother's name is Poppy.
Okay.
Yeah. They were like, oh yeah, Toph's mother's name is. They were like, what do we do? They were like Poppy, and I was like, what? And then like they kept referring to her. They're like, wow, look at Poppy's hair. She's got so much hair. And, you know, whoever animated it did a really good job. And I'm like, Poppy? Poppy?
All the names. Poppy.
Yeah, so there you go. Toph's mother's name is Poppy. It's
That
fine.
is going to go down as a fact I've never even considered.
Yeah. Which is kind of sad. You're like, oh, this is a whole character. Like, this is Toph's mother, and we were never like, what's her name?
Can go wherever. It's fine.
It's Poppy,
Toph's
guys.
mom and dad. Yeah. The Russia's on the kind of invasion. Yes, it's well, we have Eastern Asia, and then we have the Asia in general. So yeah, it definitely gave me more like Japanese, Korean, and Chinese.
Well, I think Toph's dress that she wears is influenced by Korean fashion.
Nice.
I could be very wrong.
They're all based off of something.
They are, but I
So
think
yeah, her.
Toph's
I mean,
dresses.
Yeah,
that
the
one.
dress. They even got like the pale color to match the pale eyes. That's a bit excessive, parents. At least dress her in bright colors so you can find her when she wanders off. Like,
well, I feel like pastels are always like very like upper class for whatever reason. I don't know why. It's just like you don't really think of like deep, rich colors unless it's like maybe red, but like pastels just always feel bougie to me. So
bougie. Yeah, they are the epitome of bougie in this episode. And we have the hanbok, I want to say, is how you pronounce it. Definitely looks similar to what Toph was wearing. It's kind of a nice wraparound, big full skirt.
Yeah, it's a traditional Korean clothing.
Very cool. But yeah, no, we get to see all that fun stuff, and then it all goes to crap because, hey, I think she took a dive. Well, then they owe us money. Hey, guys!
Here's the thing. So, before we get into this, I also just want to say that whole, like, scene of them eating and, like, Toph and Aang having, like, this little fight that nobody else understands what's going on. Because, like,
I love it.
Toph's dad is like, oh, well, my daughter has never met the Avatar. And, like, they're having, like, their own, like, little side conversation and like, Aang sneeze. And then their mother is just like, perhaps we should go to the the living room for dessert. I'm just like, what a bougie way to be like, I guess we're done eating.
Yeah. It's so classy and tasteful.
Yeah. And, Poppy. Nothing but class.
I want that on a shirt. So this is a brownie cake.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, the green M&Ms are keying out.
Oh, I thought they were purple. I was like, purple M&Ms are a thing.
We both need sleep. This was full less than 24 hours ago. So when
it looks delicious.
Well, it is. Fairway. It's a great grocery store chain out here. But when I was rewatching the episode, I was eating this. I'm like, Avatar food would be good, but this is great. Wow.
I was eating a bag of Ruffle chips when I was rewatching this episode. I was just nom, nom, nom.
The superior chips. Yeah, what's your guys' go-to Avatar food when you're rewatching shows? What do you go to eat? Because I'm tempted to eat more of this.
I mean, typically I'm eating dinner when I rewatch these, but for whatever reason, I was like, I'm just gonna eat these chips. And they were delicious. They made me happy. Anyways, back to the episode.
Yeah, you know what makes me happy? No, there.
That guy is called the Gecko. Because I
want to know his backstory. Why is he Lord Voldemort? Where's his nose?
He has a nose. He has those two nostrils.
But they're like snakes.
He has a mask on.
That's a mask? I thought it was face paint.
I assume it's a mask. I assume it's like a mask, like Mexican wrestling. There's a name for it. Like that's what I've always been like. That's what it is.
Mucha Lucha is all I can think of.
I have no idea.
That's the name of the old Nickelodeon show.
Yeah. But no, I feel like it's Bane from Batman. He has the same similar type of mask. I always
Yeah.
assumed that's what it was. It could be face paint, however. You're making anyways. But his name is the Gecko. And
Mask. Look at the ears. Good
oh
point.
my gosh! See Rapunzel over here. My
Rapunzel
gosh.
being the voice of reason, and Brie.
Yeah, Brie coming
Gotta
up.
give credit where credit is due.
But yeah, no, he's the Gecko, and that. Yeah,
What was it?
also,
Fire Nation.
is it Fire Nation Man? Fire Nation. I think it's Man. I always call him Man.
He's a luchador. Luchador. That's what they're called.
That's what it is.
Thank you, Louise X Sparrow. And Time Prophet says, in this episode, I worked something out. I said to my wife, if she can move Earth, then metal is really Earth because it comes from ore, and I guess that would happen later.
Wow. Check you out.
Bravo. I also had an epiphany during this too, because they were bending Earth dust. They actually like the dirt and the dust, because this dude, when they're all ambushing Toph, he does this little fire or earth whirl sort of thing, like a little tornado. I'm like, how could he do that? Dirt.
No, so again, in the commentary.
What?
There was so much that I learned in this commentary. Oh my gosh. It was like the first time that I've ever listened to it in like a while. Yeah, I would say it's probably the first time that I've ever listened to it and not been like a kid. So, anyways, it was funny because they were like, "Oh man, this Fire Nation man," and he's like, it's always supposed to be like the foreign wrestler that everybody hates, or whatever. I don't know. And they were like, "Why does he have a Russian accent for whatever reason?" But later on in the episode, when Toph is fighting everybody, they made like the most interesting comment ever, and they said that this guy is actually the first sandbender that we see, and then he's from the desert, and he like left the desert or whatever, and so he's a sandbender. He's the first sandbender that we've ever seen in the series. And I'm just like, he's a
I thought
sandbender.
it was just dust.
No. I mean, sand. What is sand but larger dust? So
this is getting way too deep. We're going deep. I actually have a mineralogist or someone who I can bring in, someone who understands sand.
I mean,
I'll put a tweet out and just be like, "Hey guys, totally random, but interesting." And yeah, sand when heated is glass. So can earthbenders be glass benders?
I don't know. These are the questions that we ask every now and then.
That is true.
So yeah. He's a sandbender, which is just blowing my mind.
Well, and what also, this dude,
they called him the Gopher.
So he has a name. Everyone gets a name in this episode.
Everybody gets a name. And the only one that doesn't get a name, and he also like was barely in like his freeze frame when the boulder was fighting him, is the guy with like the crazy hair.
Kamikaze guy.
They didn't name him.
No,
I was so upset. I was like, what is his name? What is his name?
I feel like it'd be Tyrone or something like that. Marcus. One of the two.
We'll name him Marcus. I like Marcus better.
We'll go with Marcus.
No particular reason.
Sand refers to the size of the grain. And is it sand? It is sand, if not larger dust.
I mean, you're welcome. I was about to say we've had two put it on a t-shirt moments.
Yeah. Well, and okay, so when they go back to rescue Aang, and Toph's like fighting them, and these guys all are like, okay, well, we can take her. It's fine. This isn't one-on-one. If this dude hadn't have yelled, I feel like he might have had a shot at hitting Toph.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like,
and hey,
sneak attacks. You do it
I was about to say, he's just taking a book out of Sokka's repertoire that hasn't even happened yet, but yelling sneak attack while performing a sneak attack. It's either that or Sokka at this very moment while he's watching this fight happen. he sees the guy yell, and Sokka goes, "Oh my gosh, that's a brilliant idea." And that's what inspires Sokka to yell sneak attack
That's
while
where he
performing a sneak
learns
attack.
it.
This
What
is now
about
canon.
what about the hog monkey?
The hog monkey?
Would that be his name?
Oh, the hog monkey is his name. I don't know.
He has more of a
I don't know.
tiger face paint, though.
I have no idea. They didn't name him, and I was really upset because I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like,
Let's name him Kabuki. Because he has kind of like a Kabuki mask on.
I mean, if you feel strongly about it,
I like Kabuki. What did we go with? Marcus as the other one or something?
I mean, I really like Marcus, but I also just really love. I just also really love.
Marcus is his real name, and then Kabuki's his fighting name.
Okay, there we go. You know what? I can. Anyways, so I have a question. So nobody knows who the Blind Bandit is, and nobody knows that the Bayfons have a daughter. And so, like, I can trust that, like, they find, Aang on the Bayfon estate, probably because, they're like, oh my gosh, the Avatar is on. Well, they didn't even know that he was the Avatar either. All I'm saying is, how did these wrestlers find Aang? And then we're also like, you know what? Let's also just take this random girl. I mean, how many blind girls are in the village, I suppose? I don't know, but all I'm saying is...
Yeah.
I was thinking about it probably a little too hard. And I was like, how do they know that Toph is the Blind Bandit? Because even on the note, they're like, pay us 500 gold pieces if you want your daughter back. And I'm like, how do they even know?
I'll bet you Gopher tunneled under their complex and was listening underneath the table while they were eating dinner and was like, interesting.
Okay, so like, I guess so. But then at the same time, Toph would also know that he was there.
Oh, crap. You're right. Shoot.
So I'm just saying, I feel like there's a bit of a hole. Listen, I didn't even, like, I saw her eating it and I didn't even question it because I have seen her eat
you used to
like
be doing
that
this
so many times. What's really funny is that that's how I eat my grilled cheeses.
Yeah. No, you don't get greasy hands.
Yeah.
You're germaphobe, and the forks are on the other side of the kitchen. So
exactly.
I'm just
exactly. But I'm just saying, like I saw her eating that, and I was like, yeah, Katie's just eating. That's how Katie do.
I did it with cheese quesadillas.
She does it with quesadillas.
Meat and cheese quesadillas.
Precisely. That's how she eats her grilled cheese. It's also how I eat my grilled cheese now.
It's delicious.
It's not how I used to.
But no.
But you do 2 years of college with Katie, and that's how you eat your grilled cheese.
I'm a bad influence. Also, I think it's so fat, but I love it. It's just
No.
Look at yourself some brownies, guys. Treat yourself. Also, side note, I'm leaving for New York in the morning.
Ooh.
So if there are any Avatar-themed New York City things that I need to see, let me know.
Okay, so while we've been talking about this, I've also been trying to find the true name of Marcus. His name is the Headhunter.
The Headhunter, okay. Nah, I like Marcus.
Hey, the Headhunter is his stage name. Marcus can still be
That's his legal birth name. That's his baptized name.
Okay. They must have said his name in the commentary, and I just missed it because on the trivia it says that Brian mentioned in the audio commentary that the Headhunter is a parody of Jim Warrior Hellwig of WWE. So, any wrestling fans, there you go.
And also Brie eats popcorn like that, so yay!
She does eat popcorn like that.
We aren't alone. Oh, I love it.
Anyways, so that's my question. Yeah. How did they know? One, how did they know that the person that they were after was the Avatar, or did they just put two and two together? I suppose, but like, They didn't know who the Blind Bandit was. They also didn't know that the Bayfons had a daughter. It just, as a kid's show, you watch it and you're like, oh, okay. And then, me being me, I was like, hold up, wait a second. Something things don't end up here.
Well, and you'd think, like, with all the guards they have, someone would let slip. Like, hey, you guys realize there's just this blind chick in this house.
And that's kind of like leads me. I'm not gonna call it a fan fiction. I'm not a fan fiction. A fan theory. It's more of like, could this actually be what's happening? But either like a guard, because the underground wrestling thing was a big thing in the town. Like everybody was going to those things, I feel like. So if one of the guards shows up and they're like, oh, a blind earthbender who looks a lot like the daughter of the family that I work for, maybe that's her. But oh gosh, what is his name? What is Toph's earthbending teacher name? Like, what is his name?
Master something.
Anyways, I was wondering, do you think he's in on it?
Oh,
like, do you think
his reaction makes me think not?
Well, and here's the thing. His reaction to like her during the fighting and him being like, she's the best earthbender I've ever seen. Like, the guy could just be a really good actor. Because the man's just in it for the money. He even tells Aang, he's like, if you buy a year's worth of sessions, I'll bump you up to the next belt. Like, the guy just and I think
even her winnings with him.
I think even on his wiki page, it says something about like how he doesn't even like, he's not even really in it to teach people. Like, he's just trying to franchise. Like, he's just trying to get enough money to franchise his earthbending academy. And so I'm like, wow, is he in on it? And then like, because Toph doesn't need the money. So if they're getting anything from winning these competitions, is he like, I'll help you get out of the compound and, blah, 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 blah. And I just get all the earnings because you're rich and, you're 12, you don't really need it. And I'm like, I feel like this guy might actually be in on it.
Halfway through swallowing that brownie, it made sense in my head. And I tried to gasp.
Oh, I'm sorry. Listen, if that's the way that you went, I would have been really sad. Like, I would have been like, she died eating a brownie while I was just talking. And she was gasping because my halfway watching Avatar, eating like a whole bag of Ruffles by myself, thoughts were like, oh my gosh, this earthbending teacher is in on it.
Oh my god. Oh, this is another one of our loopy streams, isn't it?
Listen. By noon, my brother put it best, by noon on Monday, I had already had my full week.
Oh no.
So, I'm just in survivor mode right now.
What a heck of a way to do survivor mode, by taking everyone else down.
So anyways, that is my question. Do you think Toph's Avatar teacher, earthbending teacher, is in on it? I kind of think it is.
The way that you put it made me think he is. I think
he is.
I think that he probably knows, but he's like, hush, hush, because if they know that she's good, they're going to send her away to a different academy. Or they're going to make it so that she stops.
Not so much that, but like, they would just stop paying him to be her earthbending teacher. So he's like, okay, you know what? And then like, even like the report that he's giving him, he's like, yeah, Toph is still on the basics, very minimum breathing exercise, blah, blah, blah. Lying through his teeth.
Well, and also, earthbenders and breathing exercises.
I don't know if it's breathing exercises or not. I don't know.
No, it is. Yeah, it's like these basic exercises.
Oh, okay.
This and this is like
basic stances or what? I don't know. Anyways,
earthbending. You see a rock, you go.
Yeah. I think he's on it.
Katie, you need to bring a pair of stripy legs to the classroom and say this is all that is left of the Wicked Witch of the West. Oh my god.
Dorothy got the shoes, I got the pants.
Oh, there we go. And are there any other kind of streams?
You know, there was one stream, I don't remember what episode it was, but we had a really good conversation about that episode.
Literally, right after we clicked end broadcast, we're like, you know, that was a really good. I think it was Jet.
I don't think it was Jet. No, because Jet, PJ was with us for Jet, and I think it was just a stream that
it was just us.
It was just the two of us. I have no idea which one it is, but I was like, wow, we had such a good conversation, like it's so deep, and I was like, oh, just so meaningful, like wow, oh my gosh. And then here we are talking about
choking on brownies. Oh, it's brilliant. Okay, well, we 1 minute 50 or 1 minute and 15, 1 hour and 15 minutes, and we are not even done with the episode. So onward and upward, I guess. But this fight scene, how amazing is this? I think this is a perfect example because if you follow me, you guys know that I like DuckTales. The reboot especially because they bring in, spoiler alert, Della Duck, who's the kid's mom. And she had an accident where she had to, like a badass, amputate her own leg, make her own robot leg, and just has it for the entire series. They don't focus on it. They use it when it helps, but it's not a disability. It's just a part of who she is. And this is never seen as a disability with Toph because you see your first appearance of her on screen, she's kicking butt. Then you realize, oh wait, she's actually blind and this is how her parents teach her, but she's so good. Like it flips that whole trope on its head. And that's what I really liked is she was never blind. She was just different abilities.
Yeah, and I think it also shows like even with how the characters treat Toph. Because like at the end of the episode, Toph is like, okay, I'll have my belt back, and Sokka just kind of like tosses it to her like, oh, she'll catch this. And then it literally just ends up like hitting her on the head, and he's like, oh, sorry. Because like I think even they forget that she's blind.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, you would when she can see literally where to go. Literally everything. Like, because this shows you what she senses. I mean, she can sense the cracks in the tile. If this is true to form.
Yeah.
So it's like
and
she's not.
And again, in the commentary, they even mentioned like how they chose to like do this and how they were really trying to show like how she sees and how it's almost like sonar, and how like they weren't trying to show like a whole lot of details, but just kind of like the form of everything and like how things are shaped, and like, you know, that's really kind of like what she sees, which I always find interesting. But like visually, like how good is this to be like you're watching it and you understand exactly what's happening?
Oh, so yeah, good. Two-dimensional show, three-dimensional concept.
So good.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
The animators, somewhere an animator in Korea their ears are burning, but they're happy about it.
Well, I mean, not even the animators, but also like the storyboard artists as well. Because I think a lot of times like we're always like, oh, the animators did so good. But like even the storyboard artists, they deserve some love as well.
Well, and Rapunzel shared a storyboard too. This is that when she does the kicky thing and Aang's like, whoa.
No, yeah, like the slow motion.
Like, you just where to go? Come on. I gotta switch over so I can zoom in on this glorious face. There it is.
So good.
Like, it's so perfect. From the storyboard to the actual animation. Boulder wails in pain, shaking. The boulder whips his head up. And like all these little details we never actually see. I freaking love it. Love how
the anguish in his eyes. He's like, hold up. I know that did not just happen. He's only been a fan of the boulder for 2.5 seconds, and he's already this emotionally attached.
Sokka is suddenly concerned and shocked by the sudden turn in events. Oh, I love it. I just freaking storyboard artists do not get the credit they deserve.
Ooh, man.
Let's see. All the blind jokes makes fun of the others forgetting that she's blind. Bingo. Ding ding. If I had a bell, I'd ring it. There are blind jokes, but they aren't about her.
No.
Just it's the
Hey, there it is. What? Where? That's what it'll sound like when one of you sees it. And when I remember again, like watching the series, I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, they finally found the library. And then she like delivers the rest of the joke, and you're like, oh yeah, she's blind.
Yeah.
You're like,
And
oh,
that goes to show
oh gosh.
it's a cartoon that does not focus on disability, it focuses on ability.
Exactly.
Boom.
Exactly.
And Time Prophet says, I watched the pilot and you can see where they were going, but the animation needed a lot more work then. Yeah, this, even from season 1, it's improved.
Oh,
so I love seeing that.
Well, and I kind of don't wonder because again, like as you watch all the commentaries and stuff like that, like they only had a short amount of time to do the pilot, and then I think Brian says something about like, okay, we get the first season and we get 13 episodes, and we have to make 13 episodes in pretty much the same amount of time that we made the pilot, and I'm just like, hold up, wait, what? So I feel like season 1, as far as like production time, they weren't given a lot, and then like they went from 13 episodes to the 20 or 22 episodes that it actually ended up being, and then we have season 2. So I feel like it might have just been a production thing, but like this fantastic. Even though I don't like John Cena, like I do not like this comparison. My gosh, don't get me started. Really? Don't get me. Oh my gosh.
Interesting. Very interesting. So what you're saying is we should move onward and upward.
Well, we should actually move back. We should actually move back to the fight at the end, because I learned something else very interesting from this commentary. I know I've said this like 7 times, but originally it was going to be Katara and Sokka that was fighting the wrestlers and trying to free Aang.
Really?
Yes. No. And so that's what it was originally going to be. And then I don't remember who said it, but somebody was like, actually, I think it should be Toph. Like, this is her episode. Like, this is she should really have this moment. And so at the very end, they were scrambling to animate this fight and get it done. And that's why they have everybody, like, as they're getting knocked out of the ring, they all land in the same spot because they were reusing that frame because they needed to save time. And it turns out to be like this really funny moment of like, oh my gosh, like, I mean, I think even Brian says it best, like there's nothing funnier than like a bunch of men falling on top of each other. So it turns out to be like this really great moment that just kind of like happened because they were like, oh, wait, I think Toph needs to fight. So I mean,
we'll just give it to her.
Yeah, and I think that there's also like this really great moment of Katara and Sokka trying to get Aang out of like the metal cage, and then like Aang finally, like they get him out, and Aang comes out and he takes a fighting stance, and he's kind of like taking in the scene, and Sokka just holds up his arm and just shakes his head like, no. There's no point. Like, she's fine.
We good.
Yeah. Don't even try.
It's all so masterfully done.
It's wonderful.
Whole Taiwan hates John Cena. Interesting. John Cena train is real in the household.
Yeah, no, it really is. We've had whole conversations about, well, Brianna and I have had whole conversations about how we don't like it.
All right then.
Yeah.
In that case, I think Toph could take
it's just like a general dislike. Okay, I hold no animosity towards the guy. Like,
just in general.
like just keep on living your life. Like whatever. I don't care for him.
Well, speaking of continuing to live your life, Toph finally makes the call to just run away. And her dad thinks Aang stole her. Which, after that battle, how does he think the Avatar could just take Toph without a fight? Like,
well,
she
here's
would
the
have to
thing. I still
willingly
think like in Toph's father's eyes, like even though he's seen her do these amazing things, he's still like, you're blind. You're an innocent little girl. Like almost kind of like Toph could do no wrong. So if Toph left, like, why would she leave? She has a happy life. She has everything that she needs as far as like they're concerned. So like, why would Toph leave? And then like the only reasonable explanation that they can come up with is that the Avatar kidnapped her daughter. So, it's sad, but
yeah, it just it
sounds
also
legit.
had to think, gang.
I mean,
How they not see through this?
I mean, Aang's also 12, and I feel like that's really all the explanation that you need.
Toph saves a fortune on shoes.
She really does.
100%.
But I also like how happy she is in this moment too.
Yeah. She can't see anything.
I would say she can't see anything. She's never flown a day in her life. This is probably like the first time that she's actually been blind since she's learned earthbending. She's so happy.
And this is kind of a visual representation of her cutting ties. She is free completely from the earth, from her family. She is just there in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. So beautiful. And then that's the end of the episode. I mean, it only took us an hour and a half to get through it.
Hey, you know what? We've gone on a bit of a journey.
It's been a journey. To the journey! No, that's a different podcast.
We laughed, we cried.
Almost died.
Exactly.
It's amazing. But yes, this is great. And also, I'm going to try to pull up my fun version of a number generator because we have people who are
well, while you do that, I'm actually going to share one more thing from the commentary that I learned that actually just blew my mind. So they were talking about the martial arts that they based Toph's fighting off of. And so they were talking to the guy that did the references for the animation, like the martial artist. I think his name is Sifu Kisu. I think that's how you say his name. I'm not sure. But anyways, he's like a master in martial arts, does all these cool things. There's tons of videos of him like actually doing the bending styles, and then that's what they send to do the animation, and it's fantastic. You should definitely check it out. But they were talking about how they wanted Toph's bending to be different. And so Kisu was like, I have this friend who practices like this really rare form of martial arts. We'll just bring him in and he can do his thing. And so his friends this guy comes in, and his name is like Sifu Manuel, and he practices this form of like southern praying mantis style, and it's really unique.
Never heard of that one before.
Not a whole lot of people do it. And so he was doing it, and they were like, yeah, I think this is going to work. And so they kind of decide that that's how it's going to be. And so they start talking about who this character is going to be. And they start talking about Toph and how she's a girl and how she's blind. And I kid you not, the guy goes, oh, well, there's this legend that one of the people that created this form of martial arts was a blind woman.
It all comes full circle.
They're just like, say what? And so
all makes sense.
Yeah, and so they actually like teach this form of martial arts to blind people because it relies on like touch and stuff like that. And I just find this like so just mind-blowing that they're just like, oh yeah, like, you know, the guy that does the martial arts reference was like, oh, I had this friend, he does like this rare form of martial arts, let's bring him in. And they're like, he's doing the moves, and he's like, yeah, I think this will work. And then they start talking, he's like, oh yeah, there's a legend that a blind woman created this form of martial arts. And they're just like, that, well, okay, happy little accident.
Go with that one.
We'll
Sold.
go with that one. So that just like blew my mind. And I think that is just
And watch,
amazing.
that person's name was Toph, and now it's just meta.
I don't know.
It's so
could be-
meta that Facebook is suing it. Like, it's just. That was an awful joke. I'm not.
Yeah, but I laughed anyways.
Oh, good golly. I love that. I love that you have the commentary. I need to. Is that only on the DVDs?
So the commentary is only on the DVDs, but I also found this documentary that was made, I think, like during this 3rd season. It's on YouTube. I will post a link in the Twitter comments. On
I think Bree might have beat you to it.
I think Bree might have. Well, way to go, B.
Boom.
Boom. Yeah, so it's like 30 minutes, and like they kind of talk about like how they started and everything like that. But yeah, so there's in that. But yeah, there's not commentary for every episode, but there is.
There you go.
Yeah,
Rapunzel got it, not Bree. I'm so sorry, Rapunzel. Oh, goodness. Well, very cool. Well, I think now, before we transition over to fan theories and fan art, because, there's so much, I imagine. I have the fan art. I imagine the fan theories are also interesting. I have, there we go, my very wrinkled green screen. This is it. Hey, everything you know is a lie.
If it works.
This is the Earth Rumble 6 puts the hurt in the dirt. The Blind Bandit versus the Boulder. Goaling Earth Rumble Stadium. All the little micro details. Right on down to the will not be held responsible for injuries incurred by debris at the bottom. It's brilliant. Now I have one that I'm automatically sending to Brandi because Brandi deserves it, because Brandi's amazing. And I also have another one. So, what? Katie, you're telling me you're not in a galaxy? Yes. Can I iron a green screen? I can, because it's just fabric.
I was about to say, that actually just looks like a sheet.
It is. It's Hobby Lobby clearance. But yes.
Hey, again, if it works, like...
So, I would like to introduce you guys to my new favorite way of picking someone. I see we have 5 viewers. When I wrote these down, I knew we only had 4. So, if you're the 5th viewer, you have, I'd say, 20 seconds to type hi in the chat so I can add you to this race to potentially win your Earth Rumble 6. But yes, here are the numbers. We have Rapunzel, Time Prophet, Bree, and Louise X Sparrow. And then just mystery number 5. And what we're going to do... Hi, Time Prophet.
I think she already had you, but...
Yes, you're good. We're going to do a duck race. A 20-second rubber duck race.
This has gotten way better than what I thought it was going to be. I was like, I don't know where she's going with this. I'm thoroughly entertained right now.
Imagine they're turtle ducks. Here's what we do. When we click set, everyone has a duck. Oh, those are lame ducks. We're going to go back to the lame ducks. We're going to shuffle the characters now. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
So yes, duck number 1, Rapunzel. Duck number 2, the unicorn. Duck number 1, the red pattern is Rapunzel. 2, the dinosaur is Time Prophet. Bree, you're a unicorn, and Louise X Sparrow, you are a mermaid. I see no other 5th person in the chat. No worries, you don't have to chime in if you don't want to. You can also just be a random ghost.
Wait, I'm sorry. I was listening, but I got really confused. So, the number is on the ducks, not what lane the ducks are in. Because they don't match.
Well, this website's a lie. Okay.
So, I just feel like we need a point of clarification. Is it what lane the duck is in, or is it the number that is on the duck?
We're gonna go with the number on the duck because I think the number on the lane disappears by the end of it.
Okay, wonderful.
So yeah,
Beautiful.
okay.
Love to
Louise
see it.
Sparrow's on the same trend. So, Louise, you are now the unicorn. Bree, you are the red star. Time Prophet, you're still the dinosaur. And then we also have Rapunzel is the mermaid.
Wonderful.
Okay,
Beautiful.
everyone, ready, set, and where's the start button?
The start is like by the timer.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And go. Okay. Let's see who wins this.
I think it's even better without the music.
Yeah. There's like little honks and everything. Oh, look at the mermaid. Making it come. Oh my.
Wow. Really coming
Word.
for it.
Oh.
I think it might be Rapunzel.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The confetti.
Rapunzel in first, Time Prophet in second. I don't know who came in third.
Let's see the hierarchy here. Oh, yep. Time Prophet, you came in second. Third was Bree.
They actually came in 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're running an experiment, everyone, to see if this was rigged.
Can we do it again to see if it's rigged?
I'm making sure it's not rigged, but Rapunzel, I got you, fam. We're gonna put that little star right next to your mermaid because Rapunzel is psyched.
But I think
Also,
for science. For science. Rigged. For science, I think we have to see.
No, Rapunzel, you won. There's no worries about that. We're just gonna race again. we're gonna see.
We might have to come up with another plan for a giveaway.
There he goes
again! Hey, it's still early. I was just to say, I think the fourth one might actually happen because it's whoever is lagging behind.
Okay, that means we have to do one more just to make sure.
No, we didn't get to see who came in. It's okay. It's
Details.
Okay. For science.
My mermaid just finished eating a brownie cake. She had tummy cramps at first, but then that sugar energy hit. So by logic, 3 should win.
I don't know. I wasn't paying enough attention.
I don't know what this means anymore.
You know, I think it is fair. I think it's just extremely hilarious that the first one.
Where's my closet?
Was 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, you know what? It's okay. My closet looks the exact same way. Probably even worse.
Doppler dragged it down on top of me. Okay, we're just gonna. Okay.
Wonderful.
All
right. That was fantastic.
I think we're good. Let's get to the fan theories.
Would you like to fix your?
Let me just.
Would you like to fix it? Or shall we continue? That works.
What logic is this?
Well, yeah, so it's just trying to figure out what your background is. No, it makes a lot of sense. Anyways, okay.
Go ahead.
Oh gosh.
Continue.
Okay. So this
Don't mind me.
I only have one theory for today. I could have done a couple more, but I was like, I think we'll just do one. And I mean, look at the time. We're good anyways. So we kind of already talked about this earlier, but originally Toph was going to be a male. And so that character design was then reused for Roku's earthbending teacher. And his name is Sud. Yeah. So in the third season, the episode Avatar and the Fire Lord, we get to see Roku training, and he talks about his earthbending master, and that character design of Sud is actually what Toph's character design was originally going to be, and then obviously that changed. But this theory is that Toph is a reincarnation of Sud.
Really?
Yeah. So we've kind of already talked about reincarnation and how like the creators of the show were already kind of thinking about it. So if you think all the way back in the episode The Southern Air Temples, we talked about a fan theory that Momo was a reincarnation of Monk Gyatso, and how there was even, I don't know if it was plans or if it was just kind of like thought about of doing like an episode confirming that Momo is the reincarnation of Monk Gyatso. Obviously, that never happened, so it's just a theory at the present time.
Should be.
Who knows? But yeah, so we know that the creators have already kind of thought about reincarnation, and obviously the Avatar as a whole is always reincarnated. So this is what this theory is, and so the way that it's explained is that in the episode The Avatar and the Fire Lord, or maybe it's the Fire Lord and the Avatar, something along that lines.
That one.
Yeah. It's the one where we kind of get to see Roku tell his story to Aang. And then on the flip side, the B story for that episode is Zuko learning about his ancestor, Sozin.
That's a really good episode.
Really good episode. But in that episode, Roku is talking about how he mastered the other three elements. And so when he learns water, it's just kind of mentioned that he struggled with it because water is kind of like the opposite of fire, and Aang struggles to learn earthbending. And so that's all that's kind of mentioned. But when he's talking about when he was learning airbending, that he trained with this monk called Gyatso, and then we kind of have like this famous line of friendships can transcend lifetimes. And then when he's talking about learning earthbending, he talks about his earthbending master and how he was, the greatest earthbender of his time and a great friend. And like it kind of makes this big old moment of Sud and like how important Sud was in Roku's life. And then we also obviously we get the connection of Gyatso later on with Aang. Aang and Gyatso are almost kind of like a father-son relationship. But when he's talking about learning waterbending, all he really says is, I struggled with it, and he kind of like moves on. And so this theory kind of looks at how much he talks about Gyatso, and he almost kind of talks about Sud in the same kind of, we were really good friends. And so it feels odd because Sud is never really ever mentioned again or anything like that. And so it's saying that Toph is the reincarnation of Sud. And then if we go back to the swamp, there's even more evidence of why this may possibly be. Because in the swamp, Katara and Sokka see people that they've lost. And who does Aang see? Aang sees Toph. And this doesn't make any sense. And so when they're talking and learning more about the swamp, what is his name? Like, I don't know what his name is, but when they're talking about and explaining the swamp, the guy says,
Vine guy.
Yeah, the vine guy. I can't remember his name. But he says
It's
like
kind of night.
Yeah. But he says something along the lines of like, the swamp shows us people who we know, who we lost. And Aang even asks like, well, I didn't know the person. And then again, we have like another really famous line of, well, time is just an illusion. And so Aang kind of comes to that conclusion, and he takes it as, well, then it's somebody that I will meet. Whereas you could also take it, time is just an illusion. And again, he's seeing the reincarnation of Sud. And this also, I think, Katie, you're really going to like this. This also explains the tornado. Because the tornado that knocks them down and is the whole reason why they're even in the swamp to begin with. This theory says that Roku is the one that caused it, because Roku is trying to right his wrongs of everything that he like kind of failed in when he was the Avatar and is just trying to help Aang and lead him to the best earthbender that he knows of, which is the reincarnation of Sud, who is now Toph. And this is really sweet. Again, going back to the episode Avatar and the Fire Lord, when Aang gets out of his vision and he's telling the rest of the gang kind of like what had happened, Toph is the one that says, "Do you really think friendships can transcend lifetimes?"
Lifetimes.
And Aang is like, I don't see why not. And like that kind of becomes like this special moment. And I think it also becomes really special in Korra, which I will not ruin it for the time prophet. But it also kind of, that idea kind of permeates in Korra again, which is really special. But since Toph is the one asking it, it kind of also leads to maybe she's the reincarnation of Sud. And so that's that's what the theory is. I think it's really
find these theories, they're incredible.
I just do a lot of research and
good heavens.
I just read a lot of internet articles instead of reading actual novels.
Well, I mean, no one can blame you there.
But yeah, no, and I think that one, is it the most sound theory? No, but it is very sweet.
It is sweet, and it makes me happy. So we're putting the stamp of approval on that.
It makes you feel like you've just been hugged, and I'm like, oh.
It does. It was meant to be, and it's just so. It makes so much sense. I'm happy with it.
Yep. So there you go.
Toph, accepted.
Reincarnation of Sud. Who knows? But it was a good theory.
Accepted. we know for sure. And headcanon is confirmed by Rapunzel too, so definitely. And Time Prophet's almost to Korra.
There we go.
All right. Well, I have kind of a nice bridge between what some people consider the comics to be just glorified fan fiction and fan art. Believe me, Toph, I know what it's like to have a crush on someone. It can be blind. And just that look.
Here's the thing. I don't think she's reacting that way because of the blind thing. I think that she's just like reacting that way because Ain's trying to talk to her about her crush. Because I do the exact same thing. Like, if you try to talk to me about somebody that I have a crush on, and you're trying to be like, oh, blah, 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 love is love, blah, 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 I'll be like, I will literally stand there with my arms crossed, staring into dead space, because I'd rather be anywhere else than talking to you about how I feel about this person that doesn't even know that I exist.
Oh.
So that's how I interpret. And that's how I interpret Toph right here. Is she's not reacting to the blind comment. She's reacting to Aang trying to talk about her having a crush.
Oh my gosh. That another fantastic fan idea. Headcanon. Boom. Accepted. Also, Louise X Sparrow has not seen Korra, and yeah, you guys, you should have a watch party. You have it, you just haven't watched it. Don't worry. It's pretty good. Moving forward, I do also have this one, which I thought was really cool because it shows what I was talking about earlier about posture and how her eyes went from being kind of like closed, hunched over to confident, fierce, and I love it so much. And which, if you, these were my two favorites, just because comedy and also Blind Bandit and everything. But if you type in Blind Bandit fan fiction, there we go. Fan art, not fan fiction. Fan fiction gets really weird, really fast.
I was like, okay, we're going on a journey. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, can't spell bandit. I think it's a foreign language translation. I'm pretty sure. But there we go. Blind Bandit fan art. There's so much that you can go through. And there's so many different things. Like, I'm sure it'll show up for different episodes and everything. And where'd it go? There's another one. Was it this one? I think it was, yes. Just vibing with all the colors that they include with Toph. Because usually you think Blind and with her sensing is just 1 or 2 dimensional, black and white, cut and dry. I just love how how colorful she is as a character and how the art can reflect that too. And also they made Momo her like fighting buddy, which is it tracks.
I'm dead.
Oh, this one, I didn't even see this one.
Okay, that one. That one's wonderful. I just changed the background to my phone, but I think I'm gonna change it again.
Oh, how did I not see? This is how I go through the Google image rabbit hole. Oh, I freaking love this. But yes, I think that's a nice found fan art there to end that with.
Also, for whatever reason, and I don't know what episode it is, but I could have swore that this was the episode where she told the story of like her running away from home and learning earthbending from the badger moles, but it's
When
not.
they're in the garden.
And I was like, no, she doesn't tell the story at all, because I remember like the flashback of like her. She just kind of explains how she sees through earthbending. She doesn't tell that story at all. So it must be.
Yeah. Because what episode do they actually...
I was just saying, what episode is it? I don't know. I can't remember at all. I thought it was this episode, but it's not. It might be Tales of Bossing Say, but it also could not be. I don't know what episode it is, and I'm kind of like losing my mind about it, but oh well.
Interesting. Oh, one more thing that I found just now, because I was looking at that page's Etsy page so I could buy their art. Apparently you can 3D print the belt.
Bruh.
Guess who recently acquired a 3D printer?
Oh, we know what you have.
Oh, this is dangerous.
Oh my.
Really
They're giving away a lot of information before you actually like buy the instructions or whatever it is that they're selling.
I think I might do that, because I know for a fact I'm 3D printing all of us Blue Lotus tiles once I can get it to actually look good and not trash.
How do you design it? I'm curious. Is there like a program?
Oh yes, 3D modeling, which if you remember my struggles in college, 2D modeling was hard enough, so I just buy the patterns or find them for free.
Gotcha.
Yep, there's a great place called Thingiverse, and they just have all these free 3D print files. Not this. This you have to get through academia and backwater channels, but that may or may not be reputable. But it's an accurate representation. So yeah, well, we know what Katie will be wearing next.
Oh no, she must have left the stream. Anybody got bingo yet? I don't know if she's coming back. Listen. That was perfect. For everything that's happened in this stream, it's what needed to happen.
My Chrome crashed. We just log off at this point.
I was about to say, I don't think there's anything of value that we can really add to these people's lives. They have been sitting with us for 2 hours, basically.
God bless
we love
these
you.
people.
We
Rapunzel,
love you
Bree,
dearly.
Time Prophet, Louise X Sparrow. My gosh. And our mystery 5th viewer. All of y'all.
Yes. Especially you, mystery 5th viewer.
You've been with us this whole time. Watch,
You
I
a
just
real
had the
one.
YouTube thing open.
You a real one.
Oh, and there we go. Bingo card's complete. We got a cat.
And there we go. Woohoo. Oh, she's like, just put me down.
Don't you want to join the chaos? No. Oh. Okay, we're done.
Okay.
Ow. Okay. Mystery viewer must be PJ. Maybe, yeah. If so, hi PJ. But yes, Brandi. Gosh, it's been crazy. The sugar rush is hitting my head now. It's been a blast, and we've done phrasing. We've
Words
done
are
the
words.
stream 2 weeks in a row now.
Wow.
So
Magical. Magical.
God bless.
Miracles do happen.
They really do. Boy, congrats to Rapunzel for winning your poster. Trust me, guys, we're gonna have so many other giveaways, including a bag of pins. Like that's what we're here for. Totally. Not the randomness. Absolutely not. But yes, Brandi, I hope you have a fantastic night, along with the Time Prophet, which, dude, it's late for you. Rapunzel as well. I mean, Louise X Sparrow's late for you. And Bree, I mean, I don't know what time anyone goes to bed anymore.
I was gonna say, it's getting late for Bree. She's usually in bed by now, if she's not already. So, yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been great. We're going to probably come back. I mean, are you doing anything next Wednesday?
Not that I'm aware of. And next will be Zuko alone.
Yes. I might go out and get like some face makeup and try to do a cosplay. Try to
Oh
live
my.
up to Bree's standard.
Oh my. We should
see.
invite Brianna back.
We could have everyone on. Forget the chat, just have them on live.
Then we have a 3-hour stream.
It'd be like a gaggle of geese. Non-stop honking. Don't tell Sporky I'm not on the Wednesday. Nice. I won't tell Sporking. You're good. And yes, bet. Everyone have a great night / morning. Rapunzel says it best. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. We're going to tune out. You want to see me try? I will try. I'm going to end the broadcast and not just flat out leave. And we'll see you again next time. Bye.
You like throwing rocks?